She's a covert.
Pearl Reed, ban TikTok, Instagram, and all the social media apps where whores melt their brain. That's a good solution. But they would never let that happen because they all make money off of women on social media. Social media is 10 times more destructive to women than corn is to men.
Feminist. I don't understand what's feminist about saying, listen, I think Republicans are the new feminists because we're the only ones that stand up for women's sports and spaces. I'm not the...
I don't care about women's sports, and I played them for 20 years. I had a tournament where men were playing in it, and I was one of the women that said something, and guess what? Nobody cared. All the women crucified me for saying something.
Leftist definition of a feminist.
Well, would you say, I would say I'm not a feminist. I would say I'm not a feminist at all. I think feminism is wrong. All of it, they used to do this thing where they'd say, I like the second wave, but not the third wave, or I like the first wave, but not the... I think it's all wrong. Mary Wollstonecraft, totally wrong. Because it seems to me feminism says men and women are basically the same. Anything you can do, I can do equally. But I don't think that's true. I think men and women are different. I think there's some things women do I can't do. Some things I can do.
Like what? Like what? Come on. Top Michelin chefs are men. Top Michelin chefs are men. Single fathers raise better kids than single mothers. What? What can men do? What can men not do? What?
The women generally can't do. And we are complementary. We go to, it's just a different view of human nature. But you're fairly traditional. I mean, you're like famous and everything, you go on TV.
Bruh. I'm not traditional. She's not traditional. Brett Cooper is not traditional. No. None of these women are traditional because they have big social media followings. You cannot have one and be that. You can't.
But you hold to generally traditional views of men and women.
Right.
So you wouldn't say you're a feminist, or would you?
I would say like I said, I think that Republicans are hijacking feminism the way that the left hijacked rainbows and our sports. And I think that Republicans and conservatives are taking it back because to me, a feminist in 2025 means somebody who stands up for women's sports and spaces. So that to me, if that's how I'm defining it, which is, again, I'm saying we're taking it over, then yes, I am. Now, here is where I sometimes butt heads with some of the, like I say, conservative Twitter, male conservative Twitter, right? I don't believe that women should inherently make less, stay at home, live to be mothers. That's the extent of your personality, persona, identity. I don't believe that.
But if a mother wants to do that, you'd be fine with it.
I believe in everybody being able to do what they want to do, as long as it doesn't negatively impact society at large, right? So that's my conservative belief.
But it is impacting society at large because the birth rate's falling.
Doesn't it all? To me, it's a little libertarian. Doesn't it? Doesn't it like the kids we were just talking about, the boys living in their mother's basement? They're doing what they want to do.
Right.
So they say. They want to play video games, eat chicken nuggets. They want to.
And women want to get gang banged by Tyrone, Chad, and Daquan. And Brad. Gavin the star. You know what I mean? It's just like, that doesn't harm anybody. So, but we're going to nag on men about video games? Truly? Really?
It is. Ostensibly, it's not impacting society at large. But it is.
Look, Brett Cooper could call in anytime. But I'm not going to call her traditional. I'm really not. Bro. If she wasn't a virgin on her wedding day, you simps can believe that. I don't. Like, we gotta get through this. She went to a big college. Don't believe you. I don't. Like, women who are groupthink creatures. You magically, like, bro, come on. But you can call in any time. It's not personal. I met her once at the Daily Wire. Briefly. Anyways.
Because you got all these men who should be acting like men out of the dating pool. So now the women are saying, well, I got to pick from a bunch of losers and I don't want that. And then no one's having kids and society crumbles. So in a way.
don't think I've ever been on a date with a guy that was a straight loser. They always have something going for them. I should have Brett Cooper and Tomi Lahren on together. They're not going to come on my show. Come on. Come on.
It's like there's almost no way to have a private sin.
Pearl looks down on everybody. Well, to look down, I would have to think I'm better. I don't claim to be anything. Okay? I'm a bad woman. Bad. So, look, I got nothing. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to cosplay and make me believe it. I don't have to believe it, all right?
Because it's all affecting society. So then we don't want them to just do that. We want them to be men. We want them to flourish.
Yeah.
We want the women to have the giga chads that they can marry, and then the women are like really good. But if you left women up to their devices, wouldn't most of them prefer to stay home, raise kids, get married?
No. Because if they did, they would. Women don't want to be mothers. Women want to be free from motherhood. That's what women have fought for. The number one issue, if women wanted to be mothers so bad, then why are they killing their children? The only people that women want to be mothers to is Chad, Tyrone, Gavin, whatever. They do not want to be mothers to an average man. They don't.
Over working in a corporate job.
I would disagree with that.
You don't think so?
No.
You think they would take the corporate job?
Not everyone. I think that it would
Most of them.
be a pretty 50-50 split. Yeah. For me, and again, they're going to eviscerate me for this.
You're a little different, though.
Just get ready. Just get ready
okay.
for it. Okay. I personally am not somebody who has grown up, like I'm born to be a mother and a wife, and that is my goal.
No. Sorry.
That has never been me. And conservative male Twitter be damned. I don't care if you don't.
And that's why, because conservative male Twitter is losing their mating strategy. Because that's a normal guy's wife. That's what she should look like. And she's saying, I want to spend my youth on myself. And that pisses men off. So they're like, hey, I mean, we run society. Can't you spend your youth on us? And she says no. Why does Tomi Lahren get schooled for being a covert feminist, but not Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, and Michael Knowles when they share the same message? I don't know if you've watched my streams. I've gone over all of them. I wonder why, though, I'm trying to think. I've seen people push back on Candace Owens. She just got cooked in that. You can't say Candace Owens doesn't get the same cooking, because they just cooked her in that Jubilee debate. Michael Knowles does not get called out. I did give him a nomination for Simp of the Year. Charlie Kirk, I don't see as much. Yeah, I would agree with you. I would put the pushback, it goes the women first, because again, the men, they're losing their mating strategy to get women to spend youth on them. So when women don't do it, they get, they're going to get the most pushback.
Like that.
But aren't you,
right?
We're both friends with a lot of women who go on TV and who are politicians and who are, big fan. But you would admit, and I'm very close friends with many such women, you're the exception, not the rule. You you disagree.
I disagree with you.
Okay,
like I said, I think if you asked women, would you rather be a stay-at-home mom or would you rather be I'm not necessarily saying an executive, but would you rather exist in the business world? And I'm not saying that means that if you exist in the business world that you're childless and unmarried.
Yeah.
I think you can have it all. I'm one of those people that...
Can you have it all?
So I thought about this. Can you have it all? Kinda, yeah. Because men keep inventing things to do our job for us. Do you know what I mean? I was thinking about this. I'm like, they have invented work from home jobs. Like they got laptops, internet, they got Roombas and air fryers. You could be a teacher. And now we have daycare. And I thought about this. And I'm like, do you know what? They're not even wrong to some degree, because you kind of can have it all. Because the men keep inventing things to do our jobs for us. Truly.
At all.
I do believe that you can.
You can have someone else raise your kids and go to work. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, 18 to 24-year-old women don't want to be stay-at-home moms. It's true.
And as you just said, not an executive, not a superstar. Tomi Lahren goes on TV, everyone knows your name. You're a middle manager at the widget factory, and you do spreadsheets and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You make a decent salary, but not a ton. And you have a few kids. And your husband's working too. You gotta, either you're gonna stay home with your kid, or you're gonna put your kid in daycare. Mm-hmm. Plenty of women put their kids in daycare, but you can't totally have it all, can you? You can't be Donna Reed and Margaret Thatcher.
I disagree with you.
Okay.
I guess I do. I'm not saying it's not challenging. I think it can be done. Not everybody wants that life.
There's only so many hours in the day.
Right.
Could you stay up all night with a kid? Let's say you got 3 kids running around. You know, you're this waking up constantly.
1 to 2, you probably could. But someone's got to watch them between 2:30 and like 6 is what I'm thinking. I mean, yeah, look, I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying could. You got to have help. Basically, they're saying, I want a nanny to watch my kid. That's what they're saying. They'll have nannies.
You're cooking the stew on the pot. You got all this stuff. And then you have to be up because Fox and Friends is at 6 a.m. on the East Coast, on the West Coast.
Or their husbands do it for them. That's the other one.
Yeah.
And you got to be up. You've had 1 hour sleep. Now, maybe, look, you could say, I wake up, I'm camera ready, I'm good. But it would be...
Yeah, it would be difficult.
It would be very hard.
Yeah, that level would not be sustainable. But if you work to your full potential, you can afford to have help. Now, some people are like, I can't have a nanny. Oh, that's so awful. I disagree with that. I believe that if you attain a certain level of success,
but that's the thing, you have a lot of money to have a nanny.
Right. I grew up going to daycare. Right?
Yeah,
I grew up with both parents working. I'm very middle America, middle class. Yeah. Both my parents worked. I went to daycare. When I was old enough, I stayed home alone. I loved my upbringing. I do not resent my mom for not staying home with me.
But you, I guess the only point I make, because I agree, that was my upbringing too. But I'm just saying.
I want to see, my sister's on daycare. I want to see if she answers. I'm going to play this, but I have a question about daycare. Let's see if she answers. Hey, I'm on the show, but I have a daycare question.
Okay.
So what is the average, like, how long are the kids usually at daycare? Like, is there, like, when do parents usually pick up their kids? What time?
My daycare closes at 5:30, so usually between like 4:45 and 5:30.
Okay. And what time do the kids get there usually?
Between, I don't really know the earliest because I'm not there early in the morning. But when I get there at 8, more than half the kids are there.